Let me not take this. Sorry. Okay. Your PowerPoint. Let me use. Please confirm that you can see my screen so I can. Hello, can you see my screen?
Yes, now we can see.
Oh, okay. So what I have now is what we've done already. This is impact of social media on students' academic performance. So we talked about research question, which is you adding a keyword that turns your topic into a question. And we have here from impact of social media on students' academic. Can I just do my slideshow so that you okay. This is the topic and our research question is we just added what is. So you determine what to add to your to your topic to turn it to a question. That's all. How can it's different things. You think it out. For me, if I add how can the impact, it won't make sense here. So if I add, just like you're asking somebody a question on your topic. So what is the impact of social media? I'm asking, what is the impact? So that becomes a research question. So next is we have hypothesis. It could be either of null hypothesis or alternative hypothesis. The null is HO, which is the standpoint that there is no impact at all. So here we are saying our null is social media has no impact on students' academic performance. Then if we choose to use the alternative, we're now saying social media has impact. So you don't have to say it is negative or positive impact because for now you have not even carried out your analysis and you don't know the result yet. So you can just say, okay, I assume it's an assumption standpoint really. I assume social media has impact on students' academic performance. So it is the research and the results that will determine whether that impact is, assuming it has impact for real, your results will now show that the impact is negative. By negative, we mean while social media activities are increasing, then your social media performance will be going the other way. It will not increase. By positive impact, while this one is increasing, this one is also increasing. Does it make sense? I want to be hearing people, man, no they hear me, don't sleep finish.
Yes, now
Yes,
we're
ma'am.
clear.
Okay, please.
Please, I want to confirm
Yeah, it
something.
makes sense.
Yes, please.
Alternative impact and the positive impact, are they the same thing?
No, alternative hypothesis contains both negative and positive. Alternative, you're just saying that um, dependent variable. Now, okay, let's talk about that. These two variables now that I have in my topic, one is social media. The other one is what? Students' academic performance, right? These are the two things I'm testing. If A affects B, that means social media is my A right now. What it can affect is what? Students' academic performance. So you always determine in this kind of scenario if variable one affects or impacts, whether you use affect or effect of this, impact of this, you're saying the same thing. So if social media affects students' academic performance, now we can now call social media independent variable. By independent variable, for now, nothing is pressuring it. It is that variable that is causing effect on other variables it is working that on the same let's say on this research now we have two variables. Sometimes we will have three. Like the research from where I got this, the research we did, we checked impact of social media on students' academic performance, time management, and one other variable. So we checked for three variables. You understand? I'll send you the paper. We checked for three variables. So now from all these other three variables plus social media, we have four variables. We are now saying that one of these is causing impact on other three, which is social media, students' academic performance, and their time management. Let me just use this to remember. And then this one causing effect is called independent. Now, instant alone, they cause trouble. Then where it's causing the effect is called dependent. In this scenario now, it's called what? Dependent variable because we are looking at dependence of these parameters, my students' academic performance and students' time management, how social media affects them. So they are now depending. So right now we call them dependent variables. While the other one causing the change is independent variable. So let's go back. Your question is if alternative is the same thing as positive. No. Alternative hypothesis is just the opposite of our null hypothesis. Well, the null hypothesis is the standpoint that nothing will happen, is not causing any impact at all, at all, at all. So this is your assumption. This hypothesis is simply untested assumptions that you take into the experiment itself. Do you understand? I'm assuming that social media has no impact on social academic performance. With this assumption, I'll now test whatever I get from my data collection after analysis and results generated. I'll now say, okay, is that my assumption true? If it is true, your report is after testing blah 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 blah. It's we now can say that our null, instead of saying social media has no impact, you now just say we accept our null hypothesis. If assuming you chose to present null hypothesis and eventually find out that it has impact, you now say we reject our null hypothesis and accept its alternative, which states that social media has impact because we found that social media has positive impact or we found that social media has negative impact. So both positive and negative are of alternative hypothesis. While no hypothesis says no impact at all. I want questions at this point.
If I'm doing class online, you're making noise.
I want questions so that we clear this point before we move on. Any question or is it clear? Unmute and answer me, please.
It's clever.
It's clear. Okay. Okay, so let's continue. Talk about null and alternative. Now let's go to data measurement. Now we have different, basically we have four. When you're creating questions, these are the categories you can drop your questions on. So when you're analyzing also, you have to actually identify the categories your data collection questions are coming from. For nominal, you're simply classifying for the sake of comparison, like you're comparing gender, male or female. You're comparing people's educational status. So you can now say that people who have HND or people who have PhD How better, blah, 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 based on the question you sent out. You understand? So you can analyze the gender. More females tend to accept this than male. It's still an analysis. Do you understand? Marital status, married or unmarried. You can throw a question just in this area. When let's say one of the questions is, do you browse at night? Do you research at night? Do you use your internet at night? Let's say that is a question, one of the questions you sent out in the form. And then when you analyze, you can say 50% or 70% of the unmarried respondents browse at night. You're talking from data collected. Do you understand? Or only 20% of respondents who are married, and this married group, out of this married group, 80% of them do not research at night, and they do not use, because therefore they attend early morning classes. You can use this as your own, just a topic, and you do it, and it's a qualitative analysis result you're getting. Very fine. Without going into quantitative for you. So it's still researchable, and then you can perform that and submit. So, but remember that nominal is just for category. So whenever you're doing data collection, you're telling somebody, enter your gender. You must enter your gender, enter your education status, or enter your department, enter this, enter that. So doing nominal um, data collection there. Now here, ordinal. It's same with nominal, but there is order. There is specific order that you cannot even measure that order. It's just a level thing. If I say enter your department, I'm talking about nominal. If I now say enter your level, and I give them options: 100 level, 200 level, 300 level, 400 level. That is ordinal. Ordinal kind of orders, it separates like male and female now. You cannot say this one is higher than this. But if I say level 200 level and 100 level, you can automatically just determine that this is higher than this. I hope you understand that. Then we have interval. Interval, equal distance, but no measurable starting point. What I mean by no measurable starting point is it does not you can't say temperature is okay. Temperature is 74. Let me now that is under okay, it can be temperature of water or something. But you cannot the starting point cannot, or it's still zero, starting from zero, which is coldest and on. But in age now, we use category to capture age, which is like ratio. Do you understand? How do you put it again? 16 to 18. You allow people within that age bracket to go and join, and or to select that option. 17 to this. You allow people within that, even temperature, you do the same. You give a category kind of. From this to that temperature, you group them. You understand? So that's for interval. Interval you capture with kind of category. You categorize. Let's say in this social media analysis, we now say how old were you when you obtained your smartphone? We now start with 16 to 18, 19 to 21. So there's order, but no meaning, not order that you can actually hold on to and calculate. No calculatable order. Let me put it that way. Okay. So, but when it's height, weight, and BP, this one can actually come into calculation. So we call it ratio. Now there are also you can enforce interval. You can enforce that order. You can make it calculatable. For instance, when you bring in Likert chart, Likert scale, for instance, You now say strongly disagree, disagree, and so on. You on your own as the analyzer can data analyst, let me call it as the data analyst, can say, okay, if you say, because normally the order is strongly disagree, disagree, neutral, agree, and strongly agree. Okay, these five. Now with these five now, neutral is at the center, which is number three. When you're doing um, qualitative analysis, that number three does not really matter. Number one does not really matter. You just want to know how many people disagree, how many people say I strongly disagree. Just want to know, do high count and do frequency and know and from there you take your stand. But when you're doing quantitative analysis and you're using Likert scale to collect information, that strongly disagree becomes, you can rate it 1. Then disagree, 2. Neutral, because the person has nothing to offer, no opinion about what you're doing. You give it 0, contribute anything. Then agree becomes 3. And strongly agree becomes 4. This one you have a first order and measurable order at that. So this is the part I wanted to add. If you have any question at this point, ask before we go to our Google form. Any questions before we go on?
Ma, please, what's the difference between data measure ordinary and the data measurement nominal? What's the difference between the two of them?
Nominal. Nominal is actually for category. Nominal, gender, male, female, right? Did you get that?
Yes, ma'am.
So, what did I say ordinal is? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you.
So what is ordinal?
Ordinary, just I want to understand the difference between the both of them. I'm just confused.
What are the
Because I'm
examples
trying
I
to
gave
check
you?
Okay, for nominal, you say the gender like female or male, then education status, marital status, that is single or married.
Ordinal, what are the examples I gave you?
I was thinking if that one can be something like department, maybe something you can feel. I just want to know, is this the difference?
No, see, the only difference between them is that one is just category. It's not adding any impact on what you're doing. You understand? While the other is also more like category, but there is level. Even though that level is not testable, you can't define the level, but there is order. There is, I don't know if you understand what I mean. Okay, like if I say type 2 diabetes and type 1 diabetes, where can you add that?
I think
Am
that one will go for nominal.
Are you sure? Are they the same thing? If I say male and female, is there any difference? No. It's just
No.
two genders you're comparing. Now, if I say type 1 and type 2, is there no difference in strength of the disease? There is difference.
Yes.
I don't know if you get my point. Huh?
I'm still
Hello.
confused though. No, ma'am, I'm still confused. I don't know if you can give me another example.
Of which one now? Of which one? That if I get already giving you what gender. male and female. Then I
I'm
gave
talking
you
about the ordinary.
diabetes.
Okay.
Do you understand? The same way you see male and female, is it the same way you're seeing type 1 and type 2 diabetes?
No, man. Because male and female only do the male or female, single
How
or
about
married.
marital status? Where can you place it?
Married,
Married or
divorced.
married? It doesn't make a difference. It's just two categories, right? Do you understand? So if you just two
Yes,
categories, place it as what? Nominal. If the two categories, you think the two categories have hierarchy, place it as ordinal. Does it make sense? Which other one can I use
yes.
now? Primary 1, primary 2. Where do you place it?
Nominal.
It's ordinal.
Okay. So you understand there's level. Even without being told, even though you cannot really measure what that level is, but one is primary 1, the other is primary 2. Let's say in secondary school, JS2 students will always kind of feel I'm big, I'm higher than this girl that just came yesterday, this JS1 girl. So there is level in it already. But if I say male, female, let me look for more examples. Religion, Christian, Muslim, where will you place that? Who can tell us? It's just religion, even if I'm pagan. So where can we place that? Is what?
Under nominal.
Is nominal. So anything that you feel is just me, my choice and your choice. That's what matters. God made me female. I made you male. No, nothing will happen. Just how many females are here? How many males? So it's just like equal strength. You place it as nominal. You understand? Category, just to separate category. Now, but when when that order, or when people you're placing in different categories, one pass one, you're now thinking, what? You're thinking you're concluding interval. I'll give you an example of
You're
interval.
not think
And
you're
when
not
there
be
is
thinking ordinal. One has to do with ranking.
yes, ranking is the right word actually. Ranking is the appropriate word. So you think of what? Ordinal. One pass one, even though I cannot measure that distance, but one pass one. You understand that? You just think of ordinal. Then interval. It's just categorization. But this categorization has no identifiable starting point. I cannot just say age has to start from 1, 2, 3. No. But age for me can be because of the kind of data I want to collect. Like this one on social media, there's no need looking at somebody in secondary school to know your social media habits. Do you understand? So I'm coming in to say, okay, some of them coming to university at 16, but 15 is not accepted because even the JAM says no 15. So we are starting at, right now, our starting point is 16. So we'll now say, let's group them 3, 3, 16, 17, 18. If you're between 16 to 18, this is your category. So let's just, if you're 19, 19, 20, 20, if you're 19 to 21, this one. If you're 22 to 24, this one. You understand? So you're not really ranking again. This one, we just got the interval. We pick total and so interval and we put them together. So in that case, now you're talking of what? Two can tell us. I called it interval, so it's the interval data you're collecting there. Then ratio has to be let's say BP. If somebody's VP is 120, the person will start shouting, it is high, yo, what's the normal? 80. You see, because you're counting from 1, 2, 3, 4, it always has to start from. If your weight is 120, somebody will tell you, you measure weight, you're at 120. You understand? Why? Because the counting starts from 1, 2, 3. So if somebody is weighing 70, the person says, okay, I'm fit, I'm okay. Somebody is weighing 100, the person says, I'm obese, I need to do something. You understand? So, and that one, the data you're collecting starts from 0 up. You understand that? So that's it. Any other question on this? Because this is very important in whatever you're doing.
I
Question?
have a question.
Yes.
How can a research topic be towards the negative? Like, let's say, for instance, can we say the negative effects of insecurity on APC in the 2027 election? That's a good research topic.
No. You can say the effects. So it is your analysis. Because when you do that now, because apart from this one you're doing centrally, and also the exam on data analysis is actually data you analyze. You collect data, you analyze. That's my exam. And you defend it, and we record it as your exam. It's practical course. You understand? So what you just said now is a topic, but that topic will not have negative or positive. I said that before. It is when you send it, what is the effect of what? What did you say again? Can I take that question?
The effects of insecurity on APC in the 2027 election.
Can we just refrain?
APC.
That's a very
Okay.
that's even a very good final topic. But but then let's come again. Effect of insecurity on Nigerian 2027 election. Do you understand? APC, is it on the one that they did primary already?
Yes, ma'am. Is the pattern that
Sorry?
is the ruling party now?
I didn't get you. Is what?
I said APC is the ruling party. I was talking of the effects because
No.
in the last election they promised.
Okay, go ahead. I want to hear before you say. In the last
I
election.
said I was talking of the negative effects because in the last election they promised security. So now they have been in power for 4 years, and yes, the insecurity is still worse.
Oh, okay. Now let's look at that together. You know that this one now you're still going to look for respondents to fill your form. Now, and that's a wonderful one. What you are going to now do is effect of insecurity on Nigerian, you know, go call name on ruling parties winning in the next election. Do you understand? So the questions you will now generate is the part of the promises these people had, and it's going to be an open-ended. You do some closed-ended. I think I've discussed open-ended and closed-ended data. So you do some open-ended and some maybe one open-ended set will solve the problem, but you still use closed-ended to collect gender of the person, location where the person stays. Very important. Very very important. States. That can be a national. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so when you're collecting data, you're thinking, where is your state? Do you reside in rural or urban area of your state? What is these are options, states. You give list states that you want to fill the form. Area of residence, you put the options rural or urban. Then you now throw that section 1, gender, marital status, and all those things, and then state and area of residence. That's section 1. Then section 2 will be just one open-ended question, which is, in the last beginning of this regime, what do you think about the state insecurity or the security status? Simple. People now, they don't give you that away, you take work. So you now hear, I say, with reference to where you live or whatever. Somebody in Owerri will tell you, you understand, this APC government, see my experience. That's in that second section. You've already collected where the person stays and everything, whether it's urban or rural, then you now ask that question. The person will tell you there is no security, there is insecurity. From that, you've gotten enough data. Then you now ask the last question. Do you intend to vote this ruling party again? That's what they call that America used for election pool. So let's say 1,000 people fill your form, or you know what I mean. Then they now tell you, I will not vote, I will not vote, I will not vote. You've asked a question on insecurity and they've given you that question. You ask the last one, which is on their intention to vote or not to vote. Okay. You can just use option. With the, your submission on security status, will you you now take a standpoint? Either you use skill, what is the tendency that you vote for them? Or you can use like as, I will vote for them again, or just use something like as, okay, I will vote for these people again. You now allow them to say strongly disagree, neutral. When you're allowed to say neutral, we will quantitative buffet. It's a very interesting one, very, very, very interesting. I would like to be involved in that too. Okay, so I think we've wasted enough time. If you're still interested, I'm today and I'll book for me. So if you want us to do the analysis so that you start your own, because 150 is good enough, then maybe we'll come for the next phase again and then use it for our analysis. What's your suggestion, please?
From my own, I think we are good to go.
Oh, we'll go for analysis, right? So that when you...
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, thank you. I'm taking his own. I'm taking his own. Okay, so any other question? Let me use the remaining time for questions. Please, anything you want to understand, ask.
Okay, ma'am. My question is, in terms of data cleaning, okay, what are really the basic things we need to have in mind? Like the major things we really need to have in mind based on your research interest. Are there some major steps we need to really have in mind before we can carry out any task so that it can have a kind of sequence?
Okay, let me advise from my experience in this field. When you're generating data, please make it as simple as possible for people to answer. Once it gets complex, people in the field might not have the same IQ with you. So once it's a little tough to understand, they start leaving your form. Once they get there, and number one, before this one now, is when you're generating your questions, make every question compulsory. If not, anyone I don't understand, I'll skip it and go to the next question. And that causes a lot of noise in the system. And that's the missing data we're talking about. So but when you're creating your form, make even my own forms I create, by default, all my questions are to be answered. So you set that. I think I taught them how to set it. If not, I'll show you now. So by default, you make every question compulsory. Because once people find they're feeding wrong and it's 30 questions. Once you check number 1 is okay, number 2 is okay, number 3 is difficult, you skip and go to number 4. Next thing, if you don't make it compulsory, but once you make every question compulsory, you cannot go to the next except you answer this one. So the result of this also is that people, when they feel the question hard, I don't know the choice, they people stop filling the form and go out. So make it as simple, easy to understand as possible. Use very simple English. Don't showcase knowledge of grammar. Don't just use anything that you cause ambiguous in your work. Make it simple. What is this? What do you think about it? And that's where open-ended helps you a lot, even though it's very difficult to analyze, but it does your work. Like if that section so of this question you asked on election, instead of writing question, after collecting the basic data into section one, just come to the section two and ask them to give you their opinion. What do you think about the security in Nigeria? Don't ask me the insecurity. You say insecurity, you've already answered questions. So just say, what do you think about the security in Nigeria? Then so you supply them option of paragraph. That paragraph will allow them to list all the things they want to talk about. Now you go analyze and research, but it gives you the best option. Okay. So let them speak their mind using paragraph. Perfect. It reduces noise. Gives a lot of data to work with. Okay, I think that's my opinion. Then removing when it comes to it depends. If I'm using machine learning, there are ways to remove noise. But data cleaning has to be done before you even put it in your machine learning environment. Maybe you're using Jupyter notebook or whatever. Do your data cleaning. If the table that you got, anywhere there's space, that means unfilled data, remove that person completely. So this one you got 151 now. If it's because I built it from my system, which is already set to you must answer the question. So, but if there are missing numbers, you see them that this cell, no, the person did not fill it. This one, the person did not fill it. I'll simply once there's only one place there, remove that person completely. Don't try to supply the answer yourself. Okay. So by the time you finish data cleaning from 150, you might be having 130, and you still work with it like that, as long as it's genuine data. But some people now, because they want more data to be in the system, they'll start using their hand to fill answers that the respondents did not fill. No, that's wrong. Just remove that respondent completely and work with whatever you have as clean data. Any other question? Are we good there?
I have a question. If I can share my screen based on the data.
Yes. If it ends, we'll come back and
okay. This is based on the question. This email here, I don't know if you can see.
Yes.
Not a real email. Is it safe to mark it before analyzing your data?
Yeah.
Some email like that.
You know the thing is, let me see. Okay, that's second row. My form is set to the person answering me must collect what do you call it? Must sign in with his email. If not, my form will not accept it by default set like that. So what you're going to do when I get this kind of thing is open virus and start and check it if it is clean. Copy it and drop it in virus total. And in fact, anything you want to be sure is clean. Whether it's somebody sent you file or they do it to me all the time. PDF or this and that. Just copy that file before you even open it.